What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Blackblade and welcome back to my channel. And for today I would like to share to you guys my my Seismic Slam build. Now I've been playing around with some builds here in in Diablo 3. Holy shit, did I just say that? And one of the builds that I came up is the Seismic Slam build. Now everybody has their own versions of what the what their Seismic Slam build is, and I would like to share to you guys my version. So first, let's go to our skill tree. I mean skills. Shucks. All right. For my primary weapon, I'm using a weapon throw with the rune ricochet. Now the reason that I have chosen the weapon throw is because I don't really want to chase the monsters around, when they are running. And as much as possible, I would rather just do a Seismic Slam on them. Alright. Now for my secondary skill, of course, we are going to use the Seismic Slam with the Rune Rumble. Now the reason that I chose Rumble is because the ground, as you can see there, the ground continues to shudder after the initial strike, damaging enemies in the area for 230% weapon damage as physical for over 2 seconds. Now as you can see, every time you do the you activate the Seismic Slam, aside from the first hit, monsters within the area will still take a couple of hits for 230% of your weapon damage. That is for 2 seconds. As you can see, there are a couple of little or small AoE. So if the monster is quite huge, like a boss, they will take several damage within that area. Each of course has the ability to do a critical damage. Now, for my second skill, for our active skill bars, for number 1, we are using the Furious Charge with the Rune Battering Ram. Now, I chose Battering Ram because, as you can see, that rune actually deals 760% weapon damage as fire. And if you're using a two-hander, if you are using a two-hander, that 760% DPS is a huge DPS. Now I could crit for about 900k or about 1 million with this, Furious Charge. So it's a pretty damn insane skill in my opinion. Plus, of course, it generates 15 fury. So if we're so the general idea is, if we're running out of fury, we charge into the enemy, we do a ground slam, and then we continue to do our Seismic Slam on them. Now for our second skill, I am using a Ground Stomp with the Foot of the Fountain rune. Now as you can see, that actually our fury regeneration is increased by 30. So I think that is a pretty good rune in my opinion. Now for our passive skills, I'm using the Boon of Bulkathos, of course, for the Wrath of the Berserker, and I'm using Unforgiving in order for us to generate 2 fury for every 1 second. Yeah, and for our third passive skill, I'm using the Animosity. That increases, of course, all fury generated, or all of our fury generators by 10%, and increases our maximum fury by 20%. So any fury generator will be affected by this, including the including the Furious Charge, Ground Stomp, the War Cry, and of course the weapon throw. Now, with regards to our weaponry, I am of course using the Skorn for my main weapon. Reason being, aside from getting the 196% critical damage, it is also socketed, so we can put another a critical hit damage there, which increases it by 100%, and add to that, of course, a 293 plus to our strength. Now for my helmet, I'm still using the Mempo, simply because I haven't really found any good helm yet. As you can see, our attack speed is increased by 8%, and of course you can't beat 10% additional to our life. And I put there a diamond gem, simply because it reduces the cooldowns of all our skills by 9%. And add to that, of course, with my shoulder, as you can see, it also has a reduced cooldown of all skills by 6%. And our at our Paragon skill points, I put the, where is it? All right, so I put all of my points into the cooldown reduction, which is now at 9%. So in total, we have a cooldown reduction of 22.16% to all of our skills. Now that is really good, especially if I really want to spam the Furious Charge and the what do you call this? The Ground Stomp, and of course that will help in the cooldown of our Wrath of the Berserker. Oh, and by the way, on our Wrath of the Berserker, I chose the Ariat's Wail for our, what do you call this? For our rune, simply because of the 3,400 weapon damage that it deals upon activation to all the enemies within 15 yards. If you do that, you know, if you're inside the elites or champion packs, it will almost half their life, or kill almost all of the white elite trash mobs. So that is a pretty powerful skill node in my opinion. I mean, skill rune in my opinion. Oh my god. Sorry, I am thinking of Path of Exile. I'm kind of mixing up Path of Exile stuff and Diablo stuff all at the same time. Well, anyway, for my armor, I'm still using the IK. Haven't really found anything really good yet. Still using this for my, what do you call this? For my amulet. When ROS releases, I'm going to change the intelligence into critical damage, so that I would get a trifecta for my amulet. Now for my bracers, I'm still using this one. Now I know it's already really advisable for now to, you know, make your own bracer and then change the Lacuni prowess, because this is so old school. But for me, you know, it still really helps me a lot, especially when I'm dishing out as much damage as I want to. But then, you know, if I do pick up some good what do you call this? Some good bracers, I will you know, definitely be changing this one. For my gloves, I'm still using the Legacy IK irons. Of course, the armor is also still a legacy. So up until I find a good set of gloves, I'm not going to be changing this anytime soon. For my belt, I am using a Lamentation. As you can see, 266 strength, 35 vitality, 71 resistance to all elements, plus of course a critical hit chance increase by 1%. But what is the most important part of this is the plus 2.8 life leech, 2.8% life leech, because currently I think the life leech is more important than life on hit or life regeneration, because it's of course percentage based. That is, of course, the more damage that we are dealing, the more life we are, you know, that we are leeching from the enemies. So that's a pretty important thing. If you can get by it, then I suggest you just go with Witching Hour or any other belt, new belt that you know, a new legendary belt that you're able to pick up through the game. But for me, I think the 2.8 life leech is still one of the best survivability attribute in this game. For my ring, I'm still using the Unity, critical hit chance and critical hit damage, plus good average damage over there, and some good strength. For my other ring, I'm still using this rare ring. I find it very difficult to replace this ring simply because of the average damage, strength, vitality, critical hit damage increase, 46%, almost perfect. I believe the perfect roll is 50%. And of course, a perfect roll of critical hit chance of 6%. Now, if when Reaper of Souls comes out, I'm going to be changing the regeneration. As you can see, it has a regenerate 98 life per second, which is very negligible. I'm going to change that into attack speed for more DPS. For my pants, I'm still using the Inas, simply because I haven't really found any suitable replacement for it. If I do, you know, I would really love to, you know, be able to replace this pants, because Ina's pants is so old school. You know, I really want to upgrade this as soon as possible if I find a legendary anytime soon. Now, for my boots, I am still using the Ice Climbers, simply because of the all resist, vitality, and high strength, and plus 12% resistance. What I mean is plus 12% life. It's a really huge addition to our life, and of course it's socketed, so I placed a life gem in it. So that's about it for our gear and for our skills. Now let's go to my Paragon skill points. Now for my core, I did put all of my points into adding as much fury as I can, simply because of our the mana cost of our fury is high. As you can see, it's 30, but of course that is already reduced by 8.80%. Now I have one gripe over this game, is that they don't really update the tooltip. As you can see, we already have a resource cost reduction of 8.80%, but then the tooltip still says the cost of our Seismic Slam is at 30. So I would really love for Blizzard to update, to be able to implement a system wherein any cooldowns or any duration or any subtractions from any other source, would update the tooltip. For example, here, as you can see, it's still 30. So I'm not exactly sure how much is it. I don't want to do the math, so you guys do the math yourselves. So that is for my core, and for my offense, I chose to put everything on cooldown reduction. That is, of course, to reduce all of the cooldowns of our skills, specifically the Wrath of the Berserker. Now for my defense, I did choose to put every point on resist all, simply because I would love to have as much resistance as possible. Now for the last, of course, I put everything on resource cost reduction. All right, so enough talk. Let's get into some gameplay. Now I am pretty excited for the Reaper of Souls, which will be coming out on March 25. So that's just in a couple of weeks now, and yeah, and I will be trying out the Crusader, because everybody's gonna try it for sure, because as far as I'm concerned, everybody's already kinda, hold on, what do you call this? We have an elite here. Furious Charge over there, and then do some we're gonna do a lot of, what do you call this, Seismic Slam as much as possible. If we get ourselves cornered, there's always the Ground Slam, and then we can get out of the pack right there. So it's pretty easy. I am doing Torment level 1. Now the reason that I'm doing a very low Torment is to be able to farm areas more efficiently. That is, of course, being able to kill, what I mean is being able to clear the area really fast. I can do what do you call this, Torment level 2, and I can do Torment level 3, but the problem there is I'm not efficient, meaning it takes me a long time to kill elite mobs and champion packs. So that's why I'm choosing what I mean is that's why I'm choosing the what do you call this, a lower Torment level. Alright, so last group of mobs here. It's a pretty interesting build, guys. I suggested you guys try it if you're doing a Barbarian. And that's about it for me, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'm gonna see you guys on the next part of my video. Have a good one. A melee skill. So there's supposed to be an axe that goes off there, but I don't know. They're probably gonna change it in the future. As you can see, we're doing a pretty okay AOE.